Hi and welcome to Handcraft Woodwork. Today we will be making some bowls, cups, pots and vases out of this cherry tree here. The tree is dead and I'm felling it for my dad, who makes a cameo appearance in this video. I've never worked with cherry before, so I'm interested to see how it behaves on the lathe. Here's my dear father. After I'd felled the tree, he said he would like to have a go with the chainsaw, and I said, okay, but you'll have to be in the video then. He reluctantly agreed, but then I think he secretly loved being filmed. I'm getting it into manageable sections for transportation here. The thinner sections will be used for furniture legs and spindles, and the thicker pieces will be turned on the lathe. Anything too small to use will be burned. It's quite a unique experience felling a tree. I grew up with this tree in my back garden, so I spent about 2 decades with it as it grew. I saw it get new leaves and fruit each year and put on a little bit more height and girth too. And then in about 30 seconds this solid tall thing is crashing down to the ground. It really reminded me of how we're only here for a very short time, and things that seem like they will last forever are really just passing away. A lot of things in this world take years to be created and an instant to destroy, so if we get too attached, we're in for a bumpy ride. Our real treasures are not material things. Once it's all cut up, I take it back to my workshop. So now we've cut a small section of the wood and stripped the bark, we're mounting it to the lathe. Okay, so that was far too big and wonky for my little lathe. So here's round 2, a slightly smaller and rounder section of the tree. This one is spinning a lot smoother and not wobbling the lathe as much. Even with it clamped down, it is still rocking the whole workbench, but as it gets smaller and more perfectly round, the centrifugal force is lessened considerably and it all calms down. Once the bark is off, we can begin shaping the outside of this vase. Once I am happy with the profile, I can flip it and hollow it out. I didn't include this section in the video as the cherry wood was so hard at the centre that my tools just couldn't handle it, and I actually had to give up halfway through and just carve a shallow bowl shape out of the centre, which to be honest I quite liked. The final piece is heavy and satisfying to hold. Okay, we're moving on to the next piece now. I will show all the finished pieces together at the end. I'm really beginning to get a feel for the cherry wood now. It is actually a pleasure to work with. I've found that if your tools are nice and sharp and the lathe is spinning fast, then some nice big soft curls come off the outside of it. And when you're carving the centre, it heats up. The oil starts coming off it and it smells just like the cherry chewing gum my mum used to have when I was little. Now that bowl is sanded and finished, we're moving on to the next piece, which is going to be a goblet style cup. As you can see, we're getting some nice lovely curls coming off the outside of the wood. It's very satisfying to turn. And as the wood has dried out a little bit in my workshop, it has become a little easier to carve. I enjoyed making this piece very much. It was a very satisfying shape to make, and it turned out so nice I ended up giving it to my mum and dad as a Christmas gift to remember their old tree by. I had no idea what I was going to make out of each piece. I just cut off a section of the wood, began turning it and tried to see if it was taking on a particular shape, and then I went with that. So each piece was actually quite a surprise by the time I'd finished it. Nothing quite went to plan, shall we say. One vase I was making went disastrously, so I ended up cutting that one in half and turning it into 2 pieces, which were quite nice in the end. Okay, now onto the oiling. I was excited to see how the cherry grain would look after some oil, and I wasn't disappointed. It took on this deep, rich, mahogany-looking colour, very luxurious. And there we have it, a collection of cherry wood items. It was great fun to make these, and I've still got most of the tree left, so I'll be making many more. These were all given as Christmas gifts for my family, but any more I make will be going straight on my Etsy shop, available for purchase. You can find the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It gives me a lot of encouragement to make more videos. And don't be afraid to share your thoughts and feelings with a comment. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one.